Moo and I would like you to know that during today's podcast, we want you to know about a couple trigger warnings. We'll be talking about loss, grief, specifically pet loss and grief, and briefly about suicide. Please check out the show notes for the exact times if you want to avoid those topics. And we're so glad you're listening. We think this is really important.
I did not know I was signing up to be in this club, did not want it. But you after you say goodbye to your animal, you are also given this invisible paperwork that you signed somehow around. You're part of this very special club, and you walk into this room and you're like, everyone's like, I'm so sorry and welcome, we understand. So we all have this little pin. We get it. And I always tell my client is like, you are the newest member of the club, but what's so cool is when you bump into that you haven't met yet, you're the greeter at the door.
You
are at the door saying, welcome.
Yes.
We're so sorry. We love you. We understand. Come on in.
Welcome to That's Me, the podcast where late diagnosed, high masking autistic adults tell their stories unfiltered. I'm Corey Andreas, therapist, writer, and late diagnosed autistic adult. Every episode, you'll hear from autistic people and the professionals learning alongside us. Real conversations about being misdiagnosed, misunderstood, and burned out. We're sharing our experiences with you and hoping that somewhere along the way, this helps you build a life that fits and actually start loving yourself just the way you are. This isn't what the medical world is saying. This isn't what you'll see on TV. This is real talk from real people. Real stories that might just make you say, hey, that's me. We're so glad that you're here. Welcome back to the That's Me podcast. We have a special animal-based episode today. That's what I'm calling it. We have Jess Kwerel here. Hello and welcome.
Hello. Good to see you, Corey.
Oh my gosh. I feel like even before I knew I wanted to do a podcast, I wanted to have you on my podcast because we crossed paths through a client and they were just like casually mentioning like, oh, I have this very special therapist that I use to get through dog grief. And I was like, what? What do you mean a special therapist that helps with grief from your animal? So please tell us everything about what you do.
So that's basically it. I mean, there is a space where I needed it. I'm a psychotherapist, and I have been walked through this path of I need very specialized support around processing grief and loss from my own animals, and I couldn't find it. I wanted someone in person, like a regular therapist.
Yes.
I have a therapist. She's lovely. At the time, when she was still in the area, but she wasn't an animal person.
Yes.
And she was a great therapist, but she just didn't quite get it. I'm like, no, I need someone who gets to that. So
you need to get it.
You need to really get this. So I'm like, wait a minute. I'm a therapist. I care about this. So I did it myself.
You became the person you needed.
I became the person I needed. And
Isn't that every good therapist? I feel like that's every good therapist. We're like, I'm going to fix all the wrongs by becoming better. Yes.
That's right. So I was a school counselor at the time, doing that full time. And then I just built this on the side. And I started this practice in 2018, 2019. And here we are.
I love that. And I feel like I have to explain the phenomenon that when you're a therapist and your client is like, oh, if you just wouldn't mind connecting with my other therapist, there's this like thing where your heart stops beating, where you're like, oh God, here we go. Because many, many times that conversation goes in a direction that you will not see coming. And it's not my favorite part of the job, because so often I'm like, oh no, we are not on the same page. And I called you and I was like, who is this Jess? I love her. So I feel like we hit it off right away. And I was like, you have to have a whole caseload of neurodivergent people. It just has to be.
Yes.
100%. So,
100%.
I mean, naturally, us neurodivergent folks, we really love our animals. And so you have this thing that you're offering that we really deeply need, because grief is extra complicated for us. And so are our relationships with animals. So what is different in what you do with this grief process with animals?
What's different? A lot of it is just the education and the repairing the misinformation about what this is and what this isn't.
Yeah.
It's not just a pet, and just sort of giving the context and theory around, attachment systems and bonding and closeness, and validating the intensity of the relationship. Or this may be the most loving, safest, fulfilling relationship you've ever had. And you may be partnered, have an amazing person, family. That does not matter.
That data is irrelevant here.
That's completely irrelevant. So it's just a lot of the I want to do a deep dive on the research on this, because rocked my world.
Yeah.
I always say if it's life-changing love, it's life-changing loss, and nothing can really prepare you for that.
No. And it is so interesting too to know that you're doing this work, because I find that grief in general is really hard to find a good therapist that understands grief, just to start with, because grief is really hard to work with as a therapist. It's so heavy. It is something that, there are so many other types of therapy that you can offer that are feeling a little bit more hopeful at the end of the day. So it takes a really special person to work with grief in general, but animal grief is so much heavier.
Yes. It's funny because I experience grief work is ultimately hopeful. I don't know. I see it as it is hopeful because the whole idea is, do you understand me?
My dogs agree. Can you hear them barking? They're like, you should be listening, Mom.
Are they yours or mine? I'm like, which one? Because mine are like, which one? But I experience it as hopeful because the whole idea is I want to feel a sense of hope of feeling connected, of how do I hold this? And once you have someone who understands and can help you through that, there's a sense of hope of, oh, there I am. And they come with me. So it's not this idea of like, there's no moving on. Like, that's not a thing. We don't, moving on implies they're here and you keep walking. No, it's moving forward with. That's the hope. The hope is I want to reconnect with my animal. How do I do that? How do I stay connected? So to me, it really ultimately is about hope because that's what I need to feel connected.
Yes, it's so true. And I feel like the reason that animal grief, and I have to be careful when I talk about this because, especially with clients, because I'll do that autistic thing where someone's talking about, their grandmother that died. And I'm like, I know what you mean. Because when my dog died, and then I'm like, ooh, Corey, that is not what you say. Yeah. That is not where you go. But genuinely, like, I say that in the most charitable way possible, in that was the deepest love I think I will ever feel because, grandma had flaws, right? Like anybody else, you're like, well, they're a person, they're human. They, sometimes they're great, sometimes they're not. Dogs are just pure light and love to me. Yeah. So it's like when someone's comparing that to animal love, you're like, yeah, that's pretty much as good as it gets for an autistic person, at least.
Yeah. But it's so interesting because here's the research and the data. The data is the brain does not differentiate very well between skin and fur.
It just knows true?
It just knows the strength of the neural pathway. It's the same attachment system that plays on me connecting to him. It's me connecting to my husband, my family. You're using the same attachment system. So from the neurobiology is attachment.
Yeah.
So if you have this creature who is, first of all, really cute, doesn't individuate, is always with you, often always touching you, is maybe often sleeping in your bed, goes through life with you, you're going to have a really, really, really deep attachment.
Yes.
High levels of oxytocin, pair bonding, love hormone,
all
right? So the brain's like, oh my God, I don't know what, like the eyeballs know that's my dog, but the brain's like, this is like blowing my mind. Is it a
peak
baby?
love?
This is peak love. But seriously, psychologically speaking, there's, I'm not really into, don't get me started on this hierarchy, but there's really is the top of the pyramid of self-actualization of like ringing the bell. Yeah. That is ringing the bell of that fulfillment of love, of like, I feel most seen, most respected, most accepted, most held, most contained. So that is like attachment 101, a secure base. That is
there's nothing better.
Literally nothing better. Literal, metaphorical, figurative container secure base.
Yes. Sometimes I'll get a client that will come in and they're having trouble. Stereotypically, I'm just going to be honest, they're usually men. But it's a lot of times I'll have clients come in and say, I have a really hard time comforting my partner. And I always go to like, what does your dog, do you have a dog? Because what does your dog do? Like your dog doesn't say anything. Your dog just sits there. Your dog will maybe lick your face. Your dog will like lay its body on you. It'll let you pet it. Like your dog just naturally knows like, oh, this person is hurting. I will care. And I've heard things about cats. I'm not a cat person, but I respect the cat game. But that is genuinely like that is validation, that is comfort. And it's so much easier for animals than humans.
Yes. That's right. That's right. So hi, animals.
Yeah.
Right.
100%. Yeah. So then when we lose them, it all just goes downhill so quickly. So how do you get into helping in the, in the early phases when someone is just really in the worst part of that grief?
I think to support someone else is to really name and validate, I see you and I know this pain. Because no string of words is going to make it better.
No.
You're not, and we're not trying to talk them out of anything.
Right.
This is not, we're not solving anything. We're not fixing anything. This is, I see you. I love you. I've lived through this.
Yeah.
I'm right here.
Ugh.
So it's just, again, so we're hoping that our support system, our friends get to be that container for us to hold us.
Yeah.
Because it's the ultimate experience, in my opinion, of being untethered, disoriented, which way is up, who am I, what I always explain it like, I feel like I walk through a portal. Like I actually just went through this. I just said goodbye to my senior hound, Daisy.
Oh God.
End of March.
Yes.
And it's like, holy shit. I mean, right. So it's walking through a portal where everything looks the same, but nothing's the same. My dog is gone.
Yes.
Right. So there's no, we're not intellectualizing it, and we're sure shit. Sorry, I cuss a lot.
Same. You're in the safe place. Okay.
We are sure shit not trying to, at least anything. Anything that starts off with the phrase, that's the classic difference between sympathy and empathy.
Yes.
Empathy is, I'm right here with you.
Yep.
I'm right next to you.
Yeah.
Sympathy is, at least.
Yeah.
Comma, right? That's trying to, create this sort of intellectual, trying to put a bow on something. And and I know that it's very well meaning. It's
coming from a good place.
It's coming from a good place. Here's the bright side.
Yeah.
We don't,
there's no bright side.
There's no, correct. My dog's gone. My cat's gone. Yeah.
I think when people do that, I think it screams, I don't know how to be uncomfortable with you. Like, when will this end for me?
That's right.
Like,
I'm uncomfortable with your discomfort.
Yeah,
yes.
I don't want to sit with your discomfort, and I'd like you to get through it a little quicker. So I'll just say something that's a platitude, and we're just out of here. Yeah, it's awful.
Yeah, that's when people say, don't cry. Well, I'm sorry, excuse me. That's the most adaptive. That is the most adaptive thing you can do is cry.
Yeah.
When people say stop crying, it's saying, I'm really uncomfortable with your emotive your expression, right? I'm uncomfortable. So empathy, how you support someone is, I'm right here.
I'm right here. I'm not going anywhere.
I'm right here.
Take as long as you need.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. It's, and you know, my favorite part, I think I realized this early on in my career, my favorite part about grief is this thing that happens. Like, if you can hang in there enough, if you can really show up for somebody and just sit and just be there and let them go through what they're going to go through, there almost always comes this point where it goes from this deep sadness to, like retelling stories and remembering memories and just like going through the stuff that is like floating through their brain. I don't know that I have tingles just thinking about it. I don't know that there's a more connecting experience with another human. Like, you're just like, you can see it go from like, all I feel is my pain to like walking over this bridge of just, you know what, these are the things I want to remember. Can I share it with you? And it's like, the best feeling.
I'm going to goosebumps. That's what I mean by hope. You just perfectly described exactly what I meant by hope. That is, to me, is truly the most hopeful thing I could ever feel. What is more important? There's literally, to me, nothing more important than helping someone through this. Because there's nothing more important to me than my dogs. And I'm married. I have friends, family. I love them. Love them all. But, right?
Yeah.
They are my most important relationship.
Yeah. I've read a couple of things about why people have such deep relationships as neurodivergent people. And, I think it goes back to what we were saying before, dogs are just simple. They know how to show up. But especially for autistic people, I think dogs make sense to us. They just make sense in a way that people don't often. And, they provide weighted blanket services, they sleep next to you in the bed. They take the place of humans that maybe are disappointing you. And so there's a lot of learning, I think, for those of us that have had animals. We get some of that reciprocity through dogs. We learn how to be responsible through dogs. Yes. So it is, even beyond all the beautiful things they offer, I think we like the version of us that shows up when we're around animals, like, or just our best self.
But it's welcomed.
Yeah.
Because animals are saying, I love you exactly the way you are.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love you exactly just as you are. I love you I love you for that.
Yeah.
Who's going to affirm, like, who does that?
No, literally,
we can get people who literally don't. People can say "I love you," but the problem with this this human package is it's flawed. Yeah. There are limitations. There are rupture, repair. It's all that. But animals are like, "I love you exactly as you are."
Yes. Now, have you ever had a situation with a client where it just hit so close to home that it became really hard to do what you do?
Oh yeah. I mean, that's why I know when I said goodbye to Daisy unexpectedly, she died unexpectedly. I had to take a beat for myself. I'm like, I am not effective. It is not appropriate or professional or feels good to show up to walk into someone's grief. And I'm like, I am hurting really badly.
Yeah, I'm a raw nerve.
I'm a raw nerve. So this is all about boundaries, which is hard. So yes, it can be very activating. At the same time, how lucky am I that I have dedicated my life's work in honor of my dog?
Mm-hmm.
I get to talk about, I'm here because of my first dog when I was 30 years old, and it changed my life. And so I know my limits too. I know when I'm like, right. I know certain times of the year, anniversaries of, right. I know we lighten the load. Mm-hmm. Other times of the year, I'm like, we feel good. Right. So I just know my limits, but also I'm also a human. Clients don't want robots as their therapist.
They really don't. They really don't. I can think back on probably every professional I've ever dealt with, be it a doctor or mental health, someone who cries with you, someone who you can tell is choked up, or someone that, you have a miscarriage and the doctor is tearing up. Like, I mean, just anything like that that's ever happened. It's just like, wow, you're a real person. I needed that today. Yeah.
Yes, that's right. And it's just, it's the compassionate witness of, I understand that I'm here.
Yeah.
And I want to hear about all of it.
Yes. Yeah. So was Daisy your like first love, or was Daisy your most recent?
Daisy was my most recent. We adopted her as a senior, and she just actually, this is a great story. So my first love was my daughter. I can show you. I got 10,000 pictures.
Yes.
Let me just show you a quick picture.
Yeah, this is important stuff.
This is important stuff. Here, I'll just show you.
The end of this podcast might just be a slideshow of all the important animals.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's my Buford.
Baby dog.
It's the name he came with. Here's us. And this is our last trip before he died.
Oh, look at that. That is a beautiful dog.
Yeah. He's
love it.
My rescue mate. No, when he died, well, Daisy showed up because my husband came into the marriage with dogs. I came with Buford, There was a point where we had no more dogs left, and it was terrible. I don't have children. I have dogs. And I remember saying, universe, Buford, I need a dog to fall out of the sky. I don't know. I don't know how to, I'm in so much grief. We just said goodbye to Sam, my husband's dog. I need you to send me a dog. Just send me a dog. Oh. So I need a dog to fall out of the sky. So let me show you this amazing picture. So then 10 days later, this is who shows up.
Can we just tell dog stories for the whole hour?
Yeah,
I love this.
And let me tell you, sorry, this is going to take, I will show you.
No, please, take your time. I'm loving this.
Tell me if that's not, like, are you freaking kidding me?
That's insane. That is insane.
Okay, I did not like look up, where do I find a hound that looks like my dog?
Okay, that's crazy.
But wait, gets better. So here's like a side-by-side of my dog. Here.
Oh my gosh. What? Okay, that's insane.
Right.
I've never seen that. This dog is a spitting image. I will put this picture at the end.
Yes,
spitting image. Yes.
So I'm a hound mom. So Daisy showed up. I mean, it's a kind of a long story of like, we thought we were just watching her, fostering her. She became our dog. But again, it was like, Buford delivered.
Buford was like, I got you. I
got you. Yeah. So yeah. So we adopted her at 9 years old. We had her for almost exactly 4 years.
Beautiful.
And what a gift. Yeah.
So my family is incredibly neurodivergent, and dogs are just our thing. So anytime you go to a get together, there are more dogs than humans. People don't even ask if they can bring their dog. It's just a given. Yeah, it's like the right ratio. It's the right ratio. And we sort of all sit around and just like look at the dogs and talk about the dog. Like no one at my family get together is going to be like, Corey, how's your job? Like never. That's just not going to happen. But they will be like, oh, how's Moo Moo? Is he getting along with Joey? Like that. Yes. That's sort of how it works. And it's hilarious to me, but it's also very serious in my family. Like there's like a lot of talk about like dog breeding and like dog training, and like you will get into some deep conversations. And my grandmother has no idea. Like, she has no sense of humor. She's a very like, just like doesn't get the joke kind of person. And she's always talking about dog breeding at the table. So you'll be sitting at Thanksgiving and she's just going on and on and on about how dogs mate and the dogs that she's bred in the past. You're just like, Nanny, please, like don't. But our family takes dogs to such a weird level, but we,
I would love to be invited to your house.
Oh my God.
Because that sounds amazing. Like,
this is what I talk about.
Can we,
Oh God, it's so funny. And it's just great until like the teenagers are there and they're just like, what's Nanny talking about? Like, you do not even want to know.
Just let her do her thing. It's all good. Yeah.
But everything's like a dog story. And I feel like that's sort of like the story of our family. Like, you will go up to my grandmother's, this is the best, her room. They like, when she had to move in with family because she's getting older, she's like 95 and she lives at my uncle's house, and they basically recreated her bedroom from her house. So it looks exactly the same. So she doesn't feel like she's losing her independence, but she's this massive built-in bookshelf. And if you go up there, the woman has 9 children, like 150, I don't know how many, a lot of grandchildren. And every shelf is just pictures of dogs. She's like, it's like dog, Obama bobblehead. And that's it. And that's just, that's it.
There's just,
Yep,
I understand.
100%.
That's right.
And this is like, this is, that's where we come from. So,
but again, I don't even have children. She's got multiple children and grandchildren, and it's the dogs.
Not pictured. Not pictured.
Right.
Not pictured. Not pictured at all.
Not pictured.
They didn't really make the cut. So that's what we come from. But I have to tell you the best story. So my kiddo, when she was tiny, we had 0.0 dogs when she was 2, because I had a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, and I was like, we can't have a puppy right now. It doesn't make any sense. No. So she was born like that kid that was just going up to dogs anywhere, and next thing you know, she's got her arm around their neck, and she was born to love dogs. And so I turned to my husband at the time and I was like, listen, like, we have no choice. This is irresponsible to not get her a puppy. I mean, I know this timing is not great, but I love dogs. I want another dog. So we had boxers growing up. And so I went and I found her a boxer, and I came home and I surprised her and I brought this dog home. Like, we knew somebody who knew somebody, but I had to get it out of state. So I bring this puppy home and I was like, we're going to name it Harvey, because the place where I got it was right by Harvard. And I was like, oh, cute, Harvey, right? So she's 2. And for whatever reason, she was just like, Mommy, we call him Harvey Pickles. And I was like, oh my God, this is the cutest thing ever. So she named him. So Harvey Pickles and my child were like stuck like glue. I mean, you've just never, like, I can't even talk about it without getting all choked up. But they had what was the most beautiful. I've never seen anything more pure and beautiful in my life. Like, it just gives me goosebumps. And every time she would get upset, we would literally just like open the door and like kind of push Harvey in there. And he wasn't, I mean, she could be kicking, flailing, throwing things. He would just go in there like a brave soldier and be like, I got this. And he just knew. He knew his job from day one. He was not trained a day in his life. He would lay on her. He would calm her down. And he started getting up there. They don't live very long, boxers, which is such a mistake. But he was like 7, and we're looking at him and his face is like completely white, and we're like, this is not good. And so we used to talk to her therapist almost every time. I'd be like, what are we going to do? Like, what are we actually going to do? Because when this dog dies, like, we're screwed. We have no plan. And she was like, she goes, we're just going to be like, we have bad news. Here's a puppy. And I'm like, you say that, but like, there are practical things that have to happen, and we can't just give her a puppy. This is going to have to be a thing. So we're out walking, like I'm contributing to your grief here. So we're out walking in DC, because that's all you could do is the pandemic. And literally Harvey falls over and dies. I mean, falls over and dies.
God.
We're out on a walk. So now, and like, we're at the point where we can like have a chuckle about this, but we're on the side of the road in Washington, DC, with a dog who literally just fell over and died. And we're looking at him. We're like, maybe he's not dead. Maybe. And I mean, it was not good. So we're sitting there and we're like, a friend of mine's like, what do I do? The car is like super far away. He's like, I'll go get the car. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, do we get an Uber? Like, who's going to put this dead dog in the Uber? Like, what are you going to do? Right. Yeah. So I'm thinking my poor child is so traumatized. So of course I come completely unglued. I'm just like weeping on the dog, just weeping. And she's going, Mommy, it's okay. It's okay. And I'm like, oh no, this is like my one shot to like do the right thing, and I'm failing. So he was gone, and we take him to the vet, and they come out, and like, I don't know how this works. This is the first time this ever happened to me as an adult. Like, it happens as a kid, your parents handle it. Yeah. So they were like, do you want to see him? I'm like, yeah, I want to take him home. Like, what do you mean, do I want to see him? So they do the whole thing, and we're sobbing, she's sobbing, and they ask us to fill out paperwork, and you do the whole thing. Well, weeks later, we get the little, like, you get the ashes in the mail. They're asking you all these questions.
I know.
It said Herbie Pickles instead of Harvey Pickles. And I was like, oh my God. So it comes to the mail and she goes, Mom, it says Herbie. So I had to call these people back and be like, I know I was probably not making any sense, but it's Harvey, not Herbie. And they're like, well, I was like, it's the right dog, right? They're like, yeah, it's definitely your dog. So she was like, Mom, I feel like that's Harvey trying to make us laugh. Don't you think that's Harvey trying to make us laugh? And I was like, yeah, that's totally what it is. So we still have it. We put the nameplate on the back, but like Harvey is above our living room on a shelf. He watches over us. And it still says Herbie on our shelf because we thought it was so funny.
But you're kiddo with the but like, oh my gosh.
She was, I mean, I've just never seen anything like it. And we came home, we just stared. I mean, we just stared at each other for days. And we had to borrow a dog from my mom because I call my mom, she has 3 dogs. And I was like, could we just get the small one? Because we actually can't function in a house without little pitter patters on the floor. We can't.
It's too shocking. You can't, it really is, because often you generally, the majority of the time, it's like, if you're lucky enough that they get to complete their life cycle and it's coming, is like, you hope you get to, call up a love, do in-home euthanasia or at the veterinarian, but sort of knowing like the very painful, I get to know. But when it's these very traumatic, painful, sudden, like, oh, I wasn't ready. Yes. We're never ready, but that was really a sudden.
So sudden.
Daisy, that's how Daisy died. She died suddenly, but we got so lucky. She died in her sleep right next to me and our other dogs. I've heard 10,000 stories of loss.
Yes.
She died in her sleep.
I feel like that is such a gift. That's exactly.
No, it is a gift. No, that's how I want to die, peacefully next to my family and have a normal day.
Please, absolutely. And that would, we had all this. We couldn't stop thinking about how many ways this could have gone wrong because we almost left Harvey home. We almost left him home on the walk because it was like, I was like, I don't know, we're going kind of far. Like and I just can't even. I would have never forgiven myself. But, it was the best. This is the best story. So we lived for a week, and then we found we had a friend who had a sister who was a dog trainer and the whole thing, and she had this dog, and I had seen pictures of this dog, but my whole family, they're doodle people, and I was very much not a doodle person. I was like, we're not doodle people. And then she was like, listen, I have this doodle, and I'm like, oh, I really don't. I like we like boxers, we like a big dog. Like I don't know about the doodle thing. And she's like, listen. And so she told me this story. This is so sad, but it's the best ending. So this dog had an owner who killed himself. And she was the trainer. So she went to come over to train him, found the guy, found the dog, took the dog, and then had no family. So she had trained this dog. So she's like, I've had this dog for a year. He's a beautiful, perfectly trained, like she trains, therapy dogs. She's really, really great dog trainer. She's like, I have him. She's like, I can't keep him. He's not my dog. Like he deserves a family, and I was like, oh, maybe we're doodle people. So we got on a plane in the middle of COVID, which for the record, the worst idea ever. I mean, in any other circumstance, I would have been like, are you crazy? Like it was not time to fly. We flew to Texas to get Moo. And I turned to Kenzie before we went and I said, I know nobody will ever be Harvey, but this guy, he lost his best friend too. And I said, and he's so sad and he's hurting just like you are. And I think he needs us. And she was like, Mom, we have to go get him. And I was like, I know, hop in the plane. We're So we did. And the rest was history. But it was like, it just, like you said, you're just like, please, someone send me a dog. Like, I don't know how this is going to happen, but like, let me know that this is the dog. Yes. That's right. And you got, that's a very clear, like, this is the right dog for your family at the right time. That you needed a dog. I don't know how to like make that happen, but I do feel like the right animal shows up at the right time. Yes. Yes. I really do believe that. And I said to her, she was hurting so bad, and watching a kid grieve is like probably the absolute worst feeling in this world. Yeah. But I said to her, you know what? I don't think Harvey would ever want you to be without a dog. Like he knows how much love you have to give animals. Yes. And he would want you to have that at all times, many dogs. And that helped her. I mean, that really, she was like, you're right. Harvey would want me to have another dog. And I was like, right, get on the plane. We have to go. Yes. Yes. It's so great. But yeah.
Wait, so how long have you had, is Moo?
Moo is 7 now. So this is like, we've had him since when he turned 3. So this is our 4th year with him. Yeah. He's the best dog. And then of course we had to get him a friend because he looked sad and he needed a Joey. So we have a Jojo and a Moo. And sadly we've become doodle people. Like, I don't know how this happened, but my family got their way. I hope they're so happy with themselves.
This is, I feel like the delights of life is who knew? Who knew you, right? We say, I think it's the things that we resist the most. That's the universe. You're like, LOL, what's just going to happen to you, right? So I just think, what a delight. What a delight for you guys that you are now doodle people.
The best. And they're such good dogs. I mean, really, you couldn't
That's
ask for anything more.
That's why everyone has a doodle.
It is. It's just as obnoxiously cute as you think it's going to be, really.
Yeah, that's right. You get it. You're like, I get it now.
Totally get it. So how did you know that this, like your dog process of like moving on, like, do you have pro tips on this? Because I feel like that's where people get stuck on the, like, do I move on? Do I sit and grieve?
I think it's interesting that a lot of people have these very deeply internalized rules and beliefs around what they can and can't do. I'm like, fascinating. So right. Who taught you that? Where did you learn that? They're like, I don't know. I just know you're not supposed to get a dog right away. I'm like, let's talk about that. Like,
I don't think that's right at all.
I don't think that's true. It's really not about anyone else but yourself.
Yeah.
Because the number one thing I hear all the time, but if I get another animal, it's going to replace. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
Even if you wanted it to, it couldn't.
Mm-mm.
But I always say, let's come back to your values, your needs, and your beliefs. I'm a person. I'm a dog mom. Period. Yeah. Values, needs, beliefs, role, identity. Period. I'm a person who needs a dog. All of it.
Yes.
I'm a person who needs a dog. Yeah. That's just. I didn't make the rules. Those are the rules.
Yeah, those are just the rules.
I'm sorry. It's out of my hands. I don't know.
Yeah.
So I recognize I'm a person who I am my meest me when I have a dog.
Oh, I love that.
So that helps me create framework around I need a dog. Like I need a dog. Yeah. So we had 3 dogs. We have 2 dogs now. So there's always going to be, there's right? There's just going to be animals. So for me, Buford was my sole dog, but we also had my husband. So there are dogs in the mix.
Yeah.
But it's the idea for clients around, well, it's recognizing what do you need? What's important to you? And doing the inventory of, it's the both and. It is grieving and healing together. It's not like when I'm done grieving, I do this.
Right.
It's like grief is not this cleanly defined sock drawer. All your socks. Whose fucking sock drawer is, first of all,
nobody
organized? Not mine.
Not mine.
Right. So it's like it's grief walks alongside you.
Yes.
And so I actually think I feel more connected to my older dogs I've said goodbye to with my dogs. Yeah. Because I am participating in the same walks, the same trails, the same, that's where we went with Buford. That's where we went with Daisy. Oh my God, that was Daisy's favorite spot too. Wow, Oliver likes this. Who knew Oliver? Like, right. So I actually personally feel most connected to all of my animals when I'm a dog mom. So it's really interrogating with clients, like, what's important to you?
Right.
What do you need? And debunking the idea of replacements, getting over. Yes. And the other one is comparing. Well, I'm going to compare. I'm like, yeah, you are. You know why? Because at the end of the day, your brain doesn't care about your happiness. Your brain is a pattern making and pattern creating machine. That's it. That's literally,
so true.
Are you alive? Are you safe? Patterns.
Yes.
Because patterns help us anticipate, like, this is when I know when I wake up and I drink my coffee and go to work. I have a sequence of things, a pattern to recognize in my house where things are.
Yes.
Patterns.
Yes.
So if and when someone gets another animal, your brain's like, this is familiar. I'm participating in a process that is familiar to me. That's a pattern I recognize.
And it feels good. It's like that predictive processing. Like, I know what's coming next. Yes.
That's right. And that is that's very corrective. That's very stabilizing and grounding. And that's what we're trying to do. So it's like, oh my God, you're going to compare. What we're trying to do is not evaluate it. Oh. It's okay to compare. We're not evaluating it's good, bad, right, wrong, yes, no, up, down. It's, Daisy used to drink out of this bowl, or whatever. That's right.
Right.
And it's not an evaluation of right, wrong, good, bad. It's like,
it's different.
It's just different. And I'm so happy, my brain's adjusting to this new pattern. So a lot of it is just working through these deeply held ideas and beliefs that are internalized, whether through movies, culture, family, bad information. Yeah. My favorite, the 5 stages. Yeah. We have to go through the stages. There aren't stages. Elizabeth
really? Hot take, Jess.
Hot take. Elizabeth Kubler-Ross.
All right.
Her seminal work around, I think it's on Death and Dying, on Grief and Grief. I think it's on Death and Dying.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I have it here. She had created really important work around observing hospice patients going through their own mortality. So she created a very beautiful framework, I think in the 1970s, idea of observing other people accepting and processing their own mortality.
Yes.
So what we've learned now is that grief is not linear. There are no stages. There are no neatly defined boxes.
I love this.
Comma, there are constellations of feelings. There's anger, denial, all that stuff. But if we are going to land on the 5 stages, it did hold a lot of water for your own, confronting your own death.
Yeah.
It doesn't really hold water for externalized death.
That is fascinating. I've never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
So how is it different when you're externalizing it?
Because when it's self, that's the ultimate.
Yeah.
When that's it. When it's outside of you, you're still you.
Yes.
There's a part of you that has died, right? But you're still you. But when it's your own, it's a whole other mental framework.
Wow.
Like new operating systems at play now.
Wild.
Right? So there is an element of like acceptance. You do have to accept it's going to happen.
Right.
So then we can get to the business of finding out what's important to you, right? So it's a little bit different when it's grief outside of you.
How do you unlearn that? How do you help people? Because I'm sure they're coming to you thinking like, oh, I've heard about the 5 stages.
Right. And I can't get a dog or a cat. I can't until I've gone through this. I'm like,
until I found acceptance.
What are we, right? And it's just like, it's not that clean. And the thing is we crave order. We all crave, the brain craves order. We want and also this idea of completion. I'm all done.
Yeah.
We don't arrive. We're not like, I did it. I made it. I got there. No. We manage it. We hold it. The word I like the word integrate.
Yeah.
How do I integrate this loss into my life?
Oh, I love
and
that.
With integration is anger, guilt, regret, fear, hope, resilience, joy, pain, depression, hell. Like you cannot be fit neatly into in these little boxes.
So true.
It just doesn't capture it.
Yeah, it's interesting. I have a framework that I use for parents that are going through a lot of like trauma and stress with a kid that has unique needs and things like that. And one of the things I talk about with that framework is that how the grief that we've learned doesn't, your kid is constantly changing and your circumstances are changing and it's good for a while, then it's not, and then it's great. And I always say like recalibrating is the thing that I think of, is that we are always in grief recalibrating like what the grief feels like today, what's new, what new life experience is bringing it up and how we're managing it, which to me makes so much more sense than acceptance, because what does that even mean?
What does that mean? That
I don't ever stop missing my dog.
No, like yes, they're not here, but the word acceptance, I find sticky because it implies endorsement.
Yeah.
I wanted this to happen, right?
Never.
And so acceptance, like, yes, I until I know they're not here and I know that to be true. But I think a word that helps to something else to stand on is I'm integrating it to my life.
Yeah.
Because acceptance is like almost as like binary yes or no.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's too rigid, right?
Yeah.
And it feels like I am now endorsing this. Like, no, I feel really not sure about it. I don't even know how I feel. I feel overwhelmed, but I'm learning to live with it. That's sort of the integration piece, because we want to get back to the work of when I feel like me again, I can reconnect with my pet. That's integration. That's not because otherwise acceptance feels too close to I've moved on.
Yes.
We're not, we move forward with. That's integration. We don't move on. Like, bye, it was nice.
Yeah.
Thanks for the
nice
adventure.
Life. Yeah. Yeah. And I think that feels
Yeah.
better. And I also think like the words matter so much. If you say to someone, it's kind of like, it reminds me of forgiveness. You tell people, you can work on They're like, I don't want to forgive. You're like, right, exactly. It sounds terrible, right? No, nobody wants that. They don't want to forgive someone that was awful. Same thing. Like, I don't want to accept this. So sometimes having the right word is so healing for someone to give language to something that they're feeling that feels like just off. I could see that being really comforting.
Yeah. And also, if anything, there's more of a allowed, and that's like permission language. It's like, I don't even want to, I don't allow, I didn't authorize this. No one asked me if I was okay with this. There's no, right? It's just, I'm holding it. I'm integrating it. I'm not endorsing it. It happens. And I think over time, when someone is first going through loss, I always say, there's a you haven't met yet. And she's got you. Like, there's a you don't even know about yet. And you're going to bump into her, and she's going to tell us stuff that you don't even know about yet. And that, to me, is where the hope comes in. Because I always say, you're going to bump into someone that you probably don't recognize right now, but she's got, like, don't worry. And I don't say it that like,
no, I know exactly what you mean.
To a client, but I would say, like, there's a you're going to meet.
Yeah.
And you're gonna meet another you and another you. All these people that you just in the middle of. It's like, I cannot imagine a world. I cannot be functional. I don't know which way is up. I don't know who I am. It's like, that's a fact. That is exactly right.
Yeah, you can't imagine that until it happens,
and you don't need to. And that's like, you don't need to understand how the rest of your life's gonna unfold. So we're gonna talk about today in the here and now. Yeah. And I also just want to offer the hope is there's a you will meet.
Wow.
And you're gonna bump into her.
Yeah.
And I can't wait till you meet her.
That is one of the most hopeful things I've ever heard. I think that that's so beautiful in a lot of different ways. You know, when we think about our kids going off to school, when we think about what will I do when I don't do this job anymore? And it's so overwhelming to think about, you know, what's going to happen when my kid is, you know, an adult and they're struggling. You don't know yet. And you
don't
can't.
know.
And they will meet a you that they haven't met yet either.
And they will meet that person will know what to do. And that's what I think, you know, sort of bring it to like a mental health piece too. Someone with anxiety, depression. The anxiety is this. I experience anxiety as I do not believe in my ability to know what to do. I don't believe in my ability to know how to handle it. That so much, that uncertainty, that future thinking scares the crap out of me because it's saying, I don't know how to handle it. I don't know what to do. Right. What I'm trying to say is there's a you haven't met yet, and she'll know what to do. But you don't need to know that right now.
Yeah, you sure don't.
So I'm not saying don't worry about it, but I'm just saying many different things can all be true. But right in this moment, you don't know which way is up, and we got you. And so there's a you that that you'll meet. Yeah. And what's going to be so cool is you're going to remember this conversation. So 6 months from now, you're going to tell me things.
You're like, just said that.
Right? And then what's so cool is for me, I'm like, I always go back to, what would you tell yourself 6 months ago?
Yes.
I always come back to, what would you tell yourself a year ago? Yep. Like, you're right. Or like, cause think about things in your own life where you're like, I can't imagine X, Y, and Z. And you get there like, it's nothing like I thought.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like, don't even try to, your brain's trying to find a pattern so you can feel safe 100%.
Yes.
What we're trying to name is, I am scared. I know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I'm scared I won't be able to handle it.
That's right. And that's what we're trying to say. I can handle it. That's like my favorite. Like I can handle. I don't like it, but I can handle it. I know how to ask for help, and I know how to do it alone. And that's what's so cool about this work is you're not going to do it alone.
No.
And you're learning how to handle
connects you to other people too. Like, this is one of the most connecting universal human experiences ever.
This to me, in this kind of work, it's like, I actually just told a client like an hour ago. I said, it's like, we have this, for those of us that are in this club, I did not know I was signing out to be in this club, did not want it. But you, after you say goodbye to your animal, you are also given this invisible paperwork that you sign somehow around. You're part of this very special club. And you walk into this room and you're like, everyone's like, I'm so sorry and welcome. We understand. So we all have this little pin. We get it. And I always tell my client is like, you are the newest member of the club, but what's so cool is when you bump into that you haven't met yet, you're the greeter at the door.
I love
you're
that.
At the door saying, welcome.
Yes.
We're so sorry. We love you. We understand. Come on in.
It's so true. And you know what? That's such an important way to reframe something too. I remember a therapist saying to me once, this was about like when I was going through a divorce, and I was just like, what am I going to do? I don't know anything about, you know, this and that. There's so many things. And I was like, how am I going to do this by myself? And she was like, I think you're going to learn to like ask for help. She was like, I think you're going to learn that there is somebody out there that can help you with almost anything. And that like, you're right now saying, how am I going to show up? And she's like, why aren't you thinking, how are we going to show up? And how many people could, and I think this is very similar in that, I wouldn't have found another dog if I hadn't asked for help. I wouldn't have, I wouldn't have landed these dogs if I hadn't reached out to people that I trusted and been open to new things that I never wanted, like a doodle. And you have to challenge yourself and go, you think you know how things are going to go, but like very much, I mean, death is one of those things that makes you go, you have no idea. Like you have no control, no idea, and no idea the lengths you're going to have to go to push yourself and to grow and to become that new you. So it's like such a proud feeling when you realize you did handle it. You're like, well, look at me. Like we worried about this for years and we handled it.
You just I'm going to get some hello. Is there nothing more I'm awesome than that? I'm sorry. No.
Best.
Literally what you just said, there's literally nothing more powerful, important, stabilizing than that. Like I handled something that I literally was my worst nightmare. And I came out a version of me I didn't know was possible. And I've made these deeper friendships and I've had those completely like there's a you don't know exists. And that to me is so hopeful.
And it's really like, it's so interesting with dogs too. I hear people talk about their dogs a lot. People talk about their dogs in therapy a lot. And I don't do grief work. And it's amazing to me how much, stories about dogs shape your own story as a person. And, that kind of thing is so beautiful too, because I think people will talk about like periods of their life as it relates to what animals that they had and traits about themselves that came out with that animal. And I'm always thinking, this is just beautiful. Like it's just such a cool thing to notice. Yeah.
I know, but I mean, to me, it's our animals that make us most human. It's our animals that enhance our relationships. It's our animals that make us feel our safest with ourselves and our most loving. They teach us how to love. They teach us how to die.
Yeah, that too. You know what? That's such an important point. And I think that's why when our dog started to look old, like he was slowing down, I just thought to myself, gosh, I think the part that was hard, it was like that hyper empathy. Like you couldn't just exist without thinking, oh gosh, this is hard to watch. It's hard to watch you go down the stairs slow and struggle and all of those things. And you do really realize like, wow, we are on this planet for a very short amount of time, not just the dog, but us too.
That's exactly right. I mean, truly, after I said goodbye to Daisy, I just got this like download of all these lessons from her. And my greatest teachers have been my dogs, 100%. I've had many great teachers in my life lessons, human teacher, all these things. But the actual lessons for me personally in my body on this planet, in this multiverse is through my dogs.
Yeah.
Because I get to be my realist me. I cannot be my realist me all have to, shapeshift, mask, all this have to be this version of me here, this version of me there, But my realist me, and it's like, we want that. That's who we want. Don't be a weirdo. Like, be yourself. That's where you learn the most.
Yeah, it's true because you're not checking yourself. You're not adjusting yourself. And that piece, like I use the golden retriever example. I don't know where I got that from. I feel like everybody uses that example, but it's like, what happens when people see a golden retriever? They're like, oh, you're perfect. You don't have to, what do they have to do? Nothing. They don't have to do anything. Everybody just loves them. Right.
That's right.
And so that like, why can't we do that as people? Like we can't just love ourselves. We have to show up the right way and be smart enough and funny enough and socialize the right way and all of that. And like dogs are like, no, you're good. You're good. You could stink. You could say nothing. You could be awkward. I'm good with that.
Yeah. And also they can be like, if they can politely say, I need a minute.
Yeah.
I'm coming back though.
Yeah. It's just so true.
I'm coming back. Right. If I'm fighting with my husband, my dog's like, this sucks.
Right. Good luck to you. I'll be back in a minute when you're done. Yeah.
Right. But there's I'm coming back.
Yeah.
But I think also it's the very important lesson of, I always tell my clients, I hope you're always gentle with yourself from now to now. But I say, if there's ever a time to be gentle with yourself, it's right now.
Yeah.
And that's what we need is the number one thing, honestly, is you got your question earlier on what do you do? How do you begin to get through this? Gentleness.
Yeah.
Because your brain's going to be flooded with, even if it was the most, Daisy died in her sleep. And I'm riddled with guilt and regret. Why did why did that to me is a gift from the heavens parted. And my dog died peacefully in her.
No joke.
Right? And still my brain, that's what brains do. Because we are responsible for them. There's no like, oh, well, all done. No, I have all this guilt. No, guilt, regret. That's part of grief.
Yeah.
So we don't want to merge with the idea that the evidence of guilt doesn't endorse that it's real. It just, guilt is a part of it. Just your brain's going to do that thing to try to make order and sense of stuff. To
like it's
understand.
making sense of the feeling.
It's trying to make sense of like, if I had done X and Y.
Yeah.
But it's the gentleness, because our dogs showed us how to be gentle.
Mm-hmm.
So the lesson is, can I show up for myself the way Daisy showed up for me?
Oh God, yes.
And it's really freaking hard.
Yeah.
But that we have a guide and a teacher. When I'm in my deepest, like, why did I do this? I've only had done that, da 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 da. All this judgment, criticizing, da da da. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
What would Daisy say to me right now?
What would Daisy say? She'd lick your face,
She's like, girl,
and you're fine.
You are, what are we? You are, right? Daisy was not, girlfriend was my old lady sassy hound who is not stressing over much.
No, I love
that.
That.
But it's just the idea, you're fine. I'm right here. Also, I think it's the hope of, I'm right here. And I think that's the other hope work, is how do you stay connected?
Yeah.
Because I actually feel so much connection. It took a while. It's not just like, right, but I still feel connected to my dogs. And to me, that's the gift. The rest of my life, I get to find a way to stay connected to my animals that have died. Yes, please.
Yeah. That is. It's like you have that. Nobody can take that away. Like, it doesn't, like, long after they're gone, you're like, nope, I still get that. I still get those memories. I still get that feeling when I go here, and that memory when I think of this and the pictures and all of it. Oh.
But as you remember, you bump into, the relationship doesn't die. The bond doesn't die. That's just attachment 101, right? So when you bump into yourself a year from now, 5 years from now, there's a relationship with your dog that she's going to have. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it just continues. They come with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. How cool is that?
It's the coolest. I love that. And I love the way that you frame it, because it's not like a, hey, it's okay, and this is why, move on, you're okay. It's like, no, it's okay that it's not okay. And here's how we sit with that and make meaning from that, and kind of like extract something that feels healing, instead of feeling like we're just going to suffer forever.
Yeah. There's a great, so the framework I want to leave with is just like, you don't heal from grief.
Right.
Grief is the healing.
Grief is the healing.
Period.
Oh.
Grief is the healing. That's the healing.
Are you this good with people grief too?
It's different. It's different because humans are complicated and humans let us down. And it's the same concepts, right? But there's something different with animals who's pure love.
Yeah.
And so human loss is different because we've got so much more baggage with humans.
Yeah, it's
true. So it's just a little bit more complex.
It's amazing. So tell me, how can people find you? I really want to send everyone I know with dog trauma to you. We need you in this world.
They can find me a couple ways. One, I have an Instagram, which I'm not great about keeping fresh and hot because I'm
very hard.
Mid-40s, so trying to,
we're all just trying to figure out technology.
I don't know how to do technology. At PetLostDC, that's my Instagram handle. And my website is petlostdc.com. And there's also, I've got resources, I've got articles. I have a couple of resources are my go-to, like, this is a really good podcast episode. I really like this book, or I like this article, where I'm like,
awesome.
Sometimes you're just like, I need a thing to listen to right now. So I've got stuff on my website that's like, here's a thing you can listen to right now.
Oh, I love that. And when people work with you, is it typically like short-term, long-term, somewhere in between, different people?
It is. It can go from one session to we're going on 7 years. Like, it can literally anything in between, because it's not a prescribed, you must meet with me once a week. It's like, let's see what you need. Let's check in. Let's start. And get a feeling of like, how does this feel? It depends. It's sort of, we tailor it to,
you're open.
That's right. I'm open. They're in the driver's seat. I'm the passenger.
I love that.
So they're driving the car.
And I have to say, I have several clients that are working with you in tandem to the work that they're doing with me, and they get so much out of working with you. I mean, I vicariously have like gotten tidbits, and I'm just like, that's beautiful. I love that. And there is really genuinely, there is a piece. I think this is true of many good therapists. There's a piece that comes with someone providing you with language and a context and a framework of just like understanding what's happening, even if the thing that's happening sucks so bad. And I think you do that brilliantly. There are so few people that do that the way that you do. And I can see that just vicariously through the people that are in your orbit, is that like, just understanding what is happening more can make you, kind of find that acceptance in yourself too, which is beautiful. You're doing great work. I'm so happy to know you, Jess. This is amazing.
You too. When as soon as I met you, I'm like, oh my God, we speak the same language.
We're one of kind. Yeah, I definitely have so much in common with what you're talking about, and I love the work that you do. Well, please check out Jess's Instagram, Jess's website. And if you know anybody that is struggling with pet grief, this is the person. We are so grateful for you chatting with us today. Hopefully we get to talk again. We should do a dog episode every now and then. Happy dog stories.
Yeah, look at this guy back here.
He's just so happy. This is like the one time there's no dog in here right now. They're like, I'm not talking to that lady. She knows a lot about
That's right.
That's a lot about death. We're staying away.
She's gonna tell that other woman our secrets.
That's right.
I know. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, Corey.
Thanks so much for listening. If this episode resonated with you, please share it with someone who needs to hear it. If you'd like to hear more about high masking, late diagnosed autism, find us on Instagram at Neurodivergent. And if you're ready to unmask in real life with real people, check out our unmasking retreats at CoreyAndreas.com. If you're a therapist or provider who's looking to do better with your neurodivergent clients, we have online courses designed to help you get there. Check us out at CoreyAndreas.com. You can also find more content on YouTube at That's Me Pod. And if you haven't already, please subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts so you don't miss an episode. We're so glad you're here. See you next time. Quick thank you to the sponsors who make the unmasking retreats possible. They're not just logos on a page. They genuinely believe in this community. Head over to CoreyAndreas.com to learn about the retreat, meet our partners, and find out how to get involved.